It's your main man, TJ Chatman, host of the TJ Chatman Show, reminding you to tune in this and every Tuesday night live at 8 p.m. for an all-new episodes of the TJ Chatman Show on blogtalkradio.com/the TJ Chatman Show. You can also...
We back live in the building Tuesday night. You already know how we get down, man. It's the TJ Chatman Show, man.
Absolutely. Hey, you know, brother, listen. Us brothers of color, we got to celebrate one another and not tear each other down. And I just got to say, brother, I'm feeling that get up that you got going over there. You're sharp enough to cut wet bread right about now, man.
Hey, I'm gonna slice that thing up. You already know how to do it, man.
Yeah,
hey.
You know, you look like the deacon that count all the money at the collection plate at the church right about now.
All of that. And I count every penny and I ain't gonna mess the church's money up. No sir. Man, we got a breast cancer awareness episode, man.
Yeah.
Man, we gotta fight the fight, the good fight, and that's to spread the awareness of breast cancer, because 1 out of 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. That number may seem small, but it's big.
That's 2 out of 16 breasts. My elementary math calculator.
Hey, so I got my main man in the building right now, John Da Vinci.
Hey.
And he gonna tell us his story.
Yeah, man.
This means a lot to you because it hits home. It hits home. And just gonna talk to the people for a minute.
Yeah. So I mean, earlier this year, I lost my grandmother that raised me from cancer within a month. And she probably had it longer than a month, but she wasn't aware that she had it. So, my mom, my dad, they worked all the time, nights and stuff. So my grandmama was the one that took care of everybody. She had like 7 grandkids over there, taking them to school, picking them up. And she was really, supportive. She taught me how to sing, taught me how to do everything. And really behind me on getting a job after I graduated college. So, I told her about getting a job at a radio station and stuff like that. And, she was calling me like I was supposed to be calling them. She checking up on me. Went up there today, such, blah, blah, blah. She on me. The day I got it, well, I say a couple days before I got the job, that's when they, found out she was in the hospital and all that stuff like that. Now, she done got through this before, so I'm thinking like, all right, she'll be all right, blah, blah. I talked to her, FaceTime her, whatever the case is. And couple days after that, got the job, didn't go home. I should have went home. Got the job, and that weekend I had to go to a funeral because she had passed away. And it hit me. It hit me bad because, she was the one that raised me and everything. And I didn't take advantage to go see her, when I could, because me thinking, all right, she's going to be all right, blah, blah. But around the time they found out that she even had it, it was like already in the bones, already like going inside the heart and stuff. So it was like, one of those moments. But don't take advantage, man. You got to, somebody that got cancer or something like that, man. Try to spend all the time you can, even if they, you got some people that fight and win it. Disappear. Like it ain't never happened.
I got a cousin, she fought on one and she doing fine.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's ways to fight it, it's survivors out there and everything, but then, sometimes when you don't make it aware, or when you don't even get checked, and when you don't even know, it'll creep up on you and it'll snatch you away,
Definitely, man, because I know, people personally, back home that had it. They had to fight that disease. Some had it early detection. Some just had secrets, and it was like they knew it. And it was like, they leaned on religion, which I understand. But God also gave us some common sense.
Yeah.
That's why He made them doctors. Yeah. That's why He made that medicine. Listen, don't take it behind it.
On that same note, listen, you're going to always hear me tell you the story. 2 boats in the helicopter. It was a rainstorm.
Tell it again.
The young man was drowning.
Love it.
The water got up to his knees. A boat came by and said, hey, man, get out of here. You going to drown. He said, no, the Lord going to save me. Before you know it, the water up to his neck. Another boat come by. Hey, listen. Get out of here. You gonna drown. Oh no, the Lord gonna save me. Now he on top of the roof. You know, because the water done got so hot.
Yeah.
A helicopter come by. Get out of here. You gonna drown. Nah, I'm alright. The Lord gonna save me. Finally, he drowned. And he make it up to heaven. He was like, Lord, what happened? I believed in you. I thought you were going to save me. He say, son, I sent you 2 boats in the helicopter, all right? So take your behind down there to the doctor. Get screened. Yeah. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself.
Got to.
All right?
Absolutely, man.
You know, because like the young brother said, you know, had maybe, you know, they discovered it a little bit earlier before it got so bad. Grandma might have been able to hang around a little bit longer. Yep, I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, but, you know, don't beat yourself up either. You know, you done had a lifetime of memories. And you don't, I'm not going to let you reduce all of that time into one day just because you wasn't there just one time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man.
So, you know,
your
grandma know, you know, you love her. You love your grandma.
Yeah, man.
You know?
I just got an angel, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I look at. I just got an angel. And it inspired me to do more, definitely, because like I said, she taught me how to sing and all that stuff like that. So that definitely pushing me, you know.
Early detection is the best protection on surviving. Because you gotta get early detection, because I know a couple people, like I said, down in South Florida who tested early. They got the screen. They diagnosed it early, like, hey, you're in stage 1. Hey, we need to go ahead and treat this right away. Yeah. Now, they're cancer free.
Hashtag, that's a new hashtag right there. Hashtag save the boobs. Save the boobs, all right?
I mean, you can have A cup, C cup, B cup, E cups. I think they got double D's too, right?
Yeah.
Save them all.
Yeah.
Because even though some may be bigger than others, it might be some other in there that you have to be detected of. Because that may not be what you think it is. So, early detection is the best protection.
And you would hate to have to get a mammogram on one side. Now you walk around here looking like you done got plastic surgery and you ain't keep up on the payments and they done repossessed the boob. So go down there and get tested.
Women need to do more self-examination, because that's how you can detect early detection of, hey, something might be going on. You might not know what it is, but that's when you go to the doctor.
Yep.
Women have no shame. Fellas, y'all need to do it better. You feel a little lump on that left side, that ain't normal. Don't be like, oh, well, I just need to go ahead and do a little more, talking to Pamela, Pamela, or whatever.
Go over and work out a little bit, get it out real quick.
No, you need to go get checked, because that might be something that you need to get. So, fellas, y'all need to do a better job.
Yeah, you don't want to be right here like Lance Armstrong.
Wow. Yeah, that's him. That's him. That's definitely him.
What you say, big dog? Lance Armstrong, the one nut wonder, Yeah, I wish, if I was in a situation like Lance Armstrong and somebody ever came to me and was like, you don't have the balls. And I was like, but I have the ball. Balls is plural,
I'm fighting with that one ball, man.
Yeah, one.
So
Catch comedian Loose Cannon for a Loose Cannon moment, giving you his perspective on real life situations from a comedian's point of view. Tuesday nights on the TJ Chatman Show.
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to give my ladies a break. Because, I got on you 2 weeks in a row. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep it fair. But my stance has not changed. I really want y'all to stop putting that Beijing on your eyebrows and stop putting all that extra. Your eyelashes plastic, your hair plastic. You're starting to look like a piece of Tupperware. All right? Let me tell you. All right. But anyway, this right here is for the fellas. All right? A lot of fellas that rolled into the show and they want relationship advice. And then I think last week, a brother asked the question, for Sam on how you keep a relationship fresh. Well, let me explain something to you, fellas. What you did to get her is what you got to do to keep her. All right. So the ladies in the studio, they agree. What you did to get her is what you got to do to keep her. All right. So, I want to encourage you to set the bar low as possible. I want you to do the least you can to get her. That way, That way you ain't gotta have to do a lot. Some of y'all setting the bar too high for yourself. You done took her to Ruth Chris on the first date. Now she got an attitude when you take her to go get that 4 for 4 from Wendy's, which I love, by the way. All right, I'm trying to dump that redheaded hoe, but she keep getting my money. But anyway, brothers, set the bar low. All right, you can't keep taking these girls out on vacations on the first date. She gonna want you to take on vacation all the time. All right, what you got to do, mama? Maybe my mama was right. I ain't took it there just yet, but you got to take her out on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich picnic. I personally don't like peanut butter and jelly, so I ain't did that. But I understand where mama was coming from. But that's what I'm talking about this week. That's the moment, fellas. Set your bar low, cause you can always meet low standards.
And we have author and owner of Renee Writes Books.
Yes.
Renee Gordon is in the building.
Yes.
And we have her chaperone, sidekick, side partner, and whatever the title she give her. We got Melissa in the building too.
That's right. My blessed friend.
Yes. So, Renee Gordon. We just heard some spoken words. That sounded very heartfelt. So a little about spoken word. What does it take to be able to demonstrate spoken word in front of an audience? Where does it come from?
For me, it comes from emotion or personal experience. Most of the time, I am inspired by, it could be anything. I could just see the sun rays coming through the clouds a certain way, and then I can just immediately start thinking of something to write. I could hear a melody that I haven't heard before. Sometimes my husband, he produces music, or he's learning to produce music, and he'll come up with a tune, and then I'll just immediately write some words to it. So I actually have a CD that I'm working on that has songs and spoken word to some of the music that he's produced. But for me, it's all about emotion.
Wow, emotions it is, because one of my favorite movies when it comes to spoken word is Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
Brown Sugar, Love Jones, one or the other. More so Love Jones.
Yeah.
So Renee writes books. What type of books do you write? I mean, with a title like that, I know you got to write some books.
I write a few books. I have a children's book, a inspirational devotional book, another book that's a story about a life. It's a young girl's journey through her childhood to adulthood and all the things that happen to turn her world upside down and how she finds her way out. And I also have a book of poetry.
Wow, okay. Now, you brought a book with you today.
Yes.
And this is the children's book, the alphabet book.
Yes.
And it talks about it's A through Z, and whatever animal I guess you decided to put in for each letter, it tells a story about the animal.
That's correct. So it takes children on a journey around the globe, animals in our world, A to Z, and it starts out with some informational. It starts out with information about the animal, their true habitat. Then it goes into a little fun story, and it's all written in poetry format. So you'll see animals in this book that you don't typically see at the zoo, like an emu or a zebu, an X-ray tetra, that's a fish. Right, so children will get introduced to new animals and new parts of the world, so they can come outside of their community, outside of their neighborhood, outside of their state. If they don't get to travel, this will inspire them to travel and teach them about animals. I love animals and I love to travel, so it's a great way for me to marry those two concepts in this book.
Wow. So what's your favorite animal in the book that you like talking about? I know she said something about a zebu or zubu, but I never. Zebu. What that's from? What kind of animal that is?
A zebu is similar to
a zebra.
No, it's more like it's like a yak. It's similar to a yak, so it's similar in the cow family.
Okay.
It has horns and it has to break through ice to get to its food if it's in the cold weather.
Whoa.
But I like that one because it's Zach Zebu zooms a zip line. So I use alliteration in my titles. That's a form of that's a technique of poetry, alliteration. And it is a little bit of a tongue twister. But I like that one because it teaches kids to step outside their comfort zone, have fun, but be responsible and make sure that they're taking safety precautions. So my stories sometimes have a lesson to learn, and then sometimes they don't. It's just a fun story.
Okay, so Melissa, did you help write this book? Did you put some of the animals in there?
No, I did not. We actually met at church when she was selling a book to one of the other member, and I overheard that she did children's book. So I was like, well, interesting, because I also write a children's book. So that's how we actually met through her book, selling it to someone else. So yeah, I did not help with this one.
But she has her own publishing company, Lambert Publishing House,
yeah.
and she's also an author, and we're partnering together on a new journey.
That is great. Now you want to give your church affiliation shout out? I don't know if they listening.
Yeah.
Lake
Mary Church
I'm
on
sure-
600 Reinhardt Road,
There we
Pastor
go.
Shaddy Solomon. Yes.
Yes.
Well, then what y'all got? Bible study today or choir
Today's
rehearsal?
Tuesday. No, nothing today.
And then
It was
Yeah,
yesterday.
that was yesterday,
and
what they
Thursday.
have on Mondays?
There's a study called Foundations. So it's a 12-week course that they take you through and teach you about the Bible and get you ingrained in the different stories and help you understand concepts, that things you need to watch out for and things you need to maybe go more towards. So it's very educational and inspirational.
Okay. So how can the people find this book? I mean, I guess before they find it, what are some of the ages that the book is made for? 'Cause I got a 3-year-old, got an 11-year-old, got a 6-year-old, got a 10-year-old.
Wow.
This would be great for
that
your
don't be
6
messing
to
around.
11-year-olds to read by themselves, but your 3-year-old, you have to read to them.
Yeah.
But it is geared towards 2nd through 6th grade. I actually had a 16-year-old in high school reading, and she loved it because she loves animals and she loves poetry. So it depends on your interest. It could go for a high school student, but the target age group is 2nd through 6th grade.
Okay. Now, are you thinking about possibly going audio? Doing audiobooks?
Yes, I am. So I finally transitioned this to an ebook, so it's available on Amazon Kindle. But I want to do audiobooks. I just haven't crossed that threshold yet.
Okay. Well, you have a voice in mind, because our very own comedian Luce Cannon would love to do a children's book.
All right.
I would.
Put you on the spot.
I would.
That's somebody else on the spot besides me.
At one time, I was interested in doing. I did have an idea of doing a children's book, and it was gonna be a series of books. I was gonna call them Wealthy Fox, because kids like little animal characters and stuff like that. And the point of my Wealthy Fox books was, I know, growing up, poor single parent home, it's just certain stuff my mama didn't know.
Yeah.
So she couldn't teach me. And then when I get grown and in the real world, I realize just how much we don't know.
Right.
And finance and investing and money management and all that stuff is so important. But if you come from a certain type of home, you'll never come into the knowledge of that. Yeah. So to combat that issue, I came up with the idea of Wealthy Fox books. And start telling stories about how, the fox, he was down and out, but he started investing, started saving, doing all the good things that need to be done, and he ended up being a wealthy fox.
So how can the people find you on social media to be able to even begin to inquire about, the different books you have out there right now?
A great question. My business page is Renee Writes Books. And that's my...
You might have to spell it out for him.
RENEWRITESBOOKS.
The book you brought us today with animals, because I like that book. I might have to get that,
This is actually for you.
Oh, this is
This is your copy. As thank you for having us on the show. I'm
Hey,
very grateful,
I got
very
the book,
blessed
y'all.
to be here.
Uh-oh, I know Tate gonna like this one.
I'll autograph it for you.
Oh, definitely bring that shopping. So how can people find you on social media? Because that's the way to go.
That is my social media page, Renee Writes Books.
Oh,
yes,
everything.
at Renee Writes Books on Facebook. I don't have Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and whatever else. I have Facebook.
No tweeting.
It took me a while to get on Facebook. I was resistant, but I realized that social media is the way that you have to promote yourself, and so I got on board and I was able to even keep in touch with family and stuff. So it was a blessing to be able to do both.
Definitely, and I know I keep calling you chaperone, but the partner. Don't want to tell people how they can find you, because you're also an author, so gotta get you a plug in.
Yeah, well, my first book I wrote was 8 Steps to New You. My second was Open Your Mouth and Speak. But my recent book was written with myself and my 6-year-old. She was actually bullied and teased at her school, and I decided, instead of venting as a mother, I decided to write about it, because that's what I know best to do. So we wrote a book called Beauty and Me to encourage and engage our little girls to know that they are beautiful, they are loved, and that they are important. So you can find me at Melissa, Mellisa, Lambert, Lambert, anywhere on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And my daughter's website is authorchelsea.com.
Wow.
And this is also for you and your daughters, or your children.
Oh yeah, I got two. And this one here, they'll love all.
And my baby's in the back of the book. You can see
Oh,
her.
the
as
baby,
well.
baby in the back.
Yeah,
Baby,
my little
wait a
mama.
minute, you gotta show it for the camera. Hold on.
I think it was really empowering that you two wrote that together, because,
Yes.
like you said, a lot of parents just vent on social media and they don't do much about it except go to the superintendent. They may take it as far as the superintendent, but for you to put it in literature that's going to last forever, so people can always have that book, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I want her to understand she is the boss. You know, she doesn't only have a book. She has a t-shirt line and a jewelry line. At 6 years old, she runs her own business. So I believe so much in entrepreneurship. As a business owner, I've been a business owner since I was 18 years old. And what I have learned when it comes to managing money, I feel like we have a poor relationship with money. It's a relationship. And when you don't have a good relationship with money, you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to use it.
Especially when you don't have a good introduction to money.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, me and Luz Cannon, we've been talking behind the scenes about that one, about
Handouts versus hand ups.
It's true.
We're gonna do a show this season on the show. It's gonna be called Handouts versus Hand Ups, and because the reason why I feel that way, it was inspired by a conversation me and another buddy was mine. So many of us have never had a hand up to the point where it seems like a handout. If a parent is responsible and thinking enough to start building their child's credit, and they get their child 800 credit score, some people think that's a handout. No, that's an obligation.
That's
your
right.
child been your child 18 years, 21 years. And they get out in the real world and they ain't got no credit. Who fault that is? That's your
The
fault.
thing is that our parents are teaching our kids the wrong thing. So they would rather their kids dance. They would rather their kids, play different sports, which is okay.
Yeah.
But if you teach your child from a young age how to manage money, how to be responsible for what belongs to them. Like, my birthday was yesterday. She went and bought me a cake with her money. Not my money.
Yeah.
She said, "Mommy, I want to go buy you a cake." I drove her to the store with her money, and she bought me a cake.
Did she
At
give you
6.
gas money?
She does pay my
gotta
bill when we do go out. Her first speaking engagement was $500 she made on her first
Alright.
speaking engagement. I believe that we as parents need to rise up.
Yeah.
Yes,
We need to
absolutely.
take our place in line where we're able to teach our kids something where they can pass on to the next
Absolutely.
generation.
And on that same note, sister, you are so right about parents. You gotta rise up, and not just parents, but other predecessors. I don't
Yes.
have any children of my own, but I am an uncle. You know what I'm saying? So I would tell my niece and nephews anything they need to know because that's my obligation to.
Yes,
Because one thing on the note of rising up is part of rising up is you got to start learning what you don't know so you can teach it to your children
That's right.
and pass it down to the next
Next
generation.
generation.
Because
A lot of people get 40, 50 years old before they decide to buy a home. I know a lot of people that have bought homes when they like 23,
Yeah.
25. I wish I would have bought me a home at 25. I'm still living in an apartment.
yeah, man.
But I'm gonna get there.
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna get there. But
we talked about that. That should be I come from what I call the 18 and out doctrine, and that's the worst
You can't-
doctrine.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I took care of you 18 years. You're on your own now.
Yeah.
Now you don't put me out the house. I ain't got no credit. I ain't got no real job skills.
Nope.
And you want me to go get a job somewhere that probably don't pay enough, and go and get an
It's a cycle.
apartment.
Cycle
So I get
disaster.
stuck in that on that rat wheel, But you're setting your children up for failure when you're doing stuff
agree.
like
Right.
that, because I feel like as a solution to the 18 and out dogma, if you will, I feel like we should be setting our children up to be homeowners. That way, the cost of living is a little cheaper. and also they're building equity in a home instead of making someone else rich.
So the guys were talking about checking yourself for lumps, and it's so true. I think it was 2013. And I'm going to just be real with everybody right now. I have what's called fibrous breast tissue. So I don't have a lot of fat. I don't have, mine is mostly fibrous tissue. So there are sometimes lumps anyway, but I particularly felt something one time that, like you said, didn't feel quite right. And it was always hurting on that side. So I would tell the doctor, they said, oh, it's nothing for you to worry about. If it hurts, then you don't have to worry about it. Cancer doesn't hurt. I don't know. Never had cancer. Couldn't speak to that. But they said, oh, it'll go away with your next cycle. It never did. For 2 years, this lump was there. It felt like it was getting larger, and it hurt. So finally, I had a doctor. I moved to Georgia, and I had a doctor. They said, well, let's do an ultrasound. They did the ultrasound. They actually did find something. They weren't sure what it was. So they said, well, we want to do a lumpectomy. When they did it, it turned out to only be a cyst, and it was benign, so I had nothing to worry about. But like you say, you know your body. So it's important that you do those self-breast exams. I have to admit, I don't do mine often enough, but that was an eye-opener for me. So I started doing them a little more frequently and taking it a little more seriously. And we really need to take it seriously, because what if I had not listened to my body, and what if that had been a cancerous lump? It was a cyst, benign, I was blessed, nothing happened. But that was something that I did experience, and now I do take things a lot more seriously, because I do have friends and associates who did have breast cancer, had to have double mastectomy. A couple of people that are survivors, they've had reconstructive surgery, so they're fine. Another person, she hasn't had her reconstructive surgery yet. And I have a family member who passed away from breast cancer. So for me to find that lump, it was important for me to get it checked out, because I had the family member, an aunt on my father's side. So it's really important. It's a real serious deal. And ladies, get your self-exams. Please go get your mammograms. Did you know men can get breast cancer too?
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
That was my next point.
And ladies, I feel like this.
I didn't know that.
I mean,
on the subject.
Luckily, I don't, it's easy for me, because
Yeah.
I got a lump, you're going to see it. So,
Yeah. On the subject of breast cancer, ladies, I feel like it's a lot easier for y'all to get examined for breast cancer, because breasts are an external thing. It's not an issue with man where, if you want to get a prostate exam, it's internal. I could totally understand the struggle with that, but ladies, I don't feel like y'all got any excuse, because like I say, that's an external thing. You know what I'm saying? You could, like you say, you could just, give a tap, and if it's a lump there,
I ain't got time for you to go on up there in the upper room. No. That's
got things to do down here.
Exit. So definitely.
I might pass out on the examination table. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen what was that movie Bernie Mac was in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, you talk one with Mike Epps in it. The one that had Mike Epps.
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Yeah, you talking about Soul Man.
Watching the tide. Soul Man was the name of the movie,
Soul Man. Yes, sir. So we definitely want to thank our in studio guests.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Definitely go check her out. Renee writes books.com, and you can also email her. Same thing.
And the Facebook page, same thing.
Facebook
Keep it
page,
simple.
Same thing. Keep it simple. So definitely we appreciate you guys coming on the show, and definitely follow us, and we're definitely going to continue to promote and do big things.
You can also follow us on our Facebook and Instagram at The TJ Chatman Show. And remember to keep it locked. The best is yet to come. Let's go.